blazes. Now I'm going to build another ball while building so far. Alright, so I'm going to need obsidian. Does anyone have any obsidian? Summer. Thank you. So what's the never fall? Yeah, you can do. Alright, now I'm gonna need a flint and steel. Please may I have the flint and steel. It's I'll show you. Yeah. So you mentioned I only need it for one thing. There we are. You may have it back. Alright, I'll show you I'll show you the frame for the end portal, okay? You do it 3 by 3. Yeah. I'm gonna enter the nether. So I'm in the nether. Oh, there you go. There it is. That's a beautiful gas. Right. That's only in survival. Right, so I'm just getting back now. So my dad's soon gonna do a live stream. So come watch it. On YouTube, Conversation Chat live stream.
I've got the live.
It's where you like shoot a video live and you talk about things. My dad, is he on Conversation Chat? Well, he made Conversation.
I can hear you on
Conversation Chat. So far, nearly my whole family is subscribed to Conversation Chat. My dad does Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and Discord. So far, still building. Hold up, I'm gonna restart Minecraft because it is not working. It's not rebuilding yet this area. Hold up, I'm gonna join your game now.
Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired. Right, what am I missing? There's something missing. Hey guys. I'm missing something and I can't remember what it is. I'll just get on, eh? Oh, that's what I'm missing. One sec.
Yeah, but it takes mine took like a long time. Hey, Leo, turn on the lamp.
Where is it? There it is. I forgot to clean my labels earlier. I'm recycling my labels. Hey Ray, Becky, Rachel. Who else is in here? I think I saw Tony in here. You should be asleep. Oh. So before I start, I just need to get some labels washed. Aaron, how you doing? Well, I know how you're doing. We were just talking. Have you done something with your hair? You sarky beggar. I was actually going to shave it all off last night. Charlotte is still on Minecraft. Why? Is it? I can hear myself on the PC in the living room. Give me a sec. Turn your volume up, right? Oh. I know it's picking Charlotte up because I can hear her coming through the living room as well. Am I quiet for everybody? Does everybody think I'm quiet? I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I must admit, I was watching, I don't know if any of you watch it. Tony C. Smith's videos the other day, speaking of volume and things like that. I know Becky's given me her recommendation, so. But yeah, I was watching Tony C. Smith's video the other day, and he says, "Oh, just go out and get yourself one of these Rode mics, these Rode Magic Go." So I thought, oh, you know what, Rode mics are pretty expensive, but Tony C. Smith is from up in Sunderland. He's got to be quite tight, hasn't he? And it goes on, but 130 quid. Oh, yeah, right. But I should have expected that from somebody who's bought three of the deluxe Vita pods, shouldn't I? Didn't you do your seed sowing the other day, Becky? You put out. I don't think you've published it, have you? But I'm sure I saw you put up on either Facebook or Instagram that you were doing your seeds the other day. Don't know how many likes I've got, I can't see, but there's 11 of you in there, so I want 11 thumbs up. You hear me? Don't know if there's any newbies here. Yeah, Becky, I'm going to get that one that you told me about, because I mean I can't fault your sound at all. Does that one that you told me about, does it come with what do they call them? The long-haired anti-wind microphone cover thing. Oh, cool. I'll look forward to seeing that, Becky. I think we all do these days, right? Problem is you get so many people coming onto YouTube now that have got a bit of brass, and they buy all this stuff. Yeah, like a muffler. And they've got all this brass and they buy all this stuff, and it makes life hard for us normal people who have a normal life and can't spend hundreds of pounds on YouTube equipment. Because it becomes what people expect to see and hear, innit? Oh, right, okay. I wondered that just from the ad, but I mean, I will buy one, but I didn't know if it came with one. In fact, I'll probably buy some spares. Why I use pen, I now can't get that off. you saw anything interesting the other day, Becky? I know you did your... What was the challenge that we tried to get going? Unusual seed. I was gutted I couldn't get any peanut seeds, and then I watched Castle Garden, his video last weekend, and there he is sowing his peanut seeds. So I've emailed him, see if he can tell me where he got them from, because even he said in his video you can't just sow monkey nuts from shop. My allotment's really windy, Becky, really windy, especially once the lift, but not that you'd know there's a lockdown in process with how busy that road is at the back of my plot. But I've stopped filming from the allotment intentionally, because I didn't like the idea that sort of I can go out, I can go to my allotment. I ain't got my pen either. I can go out, I can go to my allotment. I think you're shoving it in people's faces, those that are adhering to the lockdown. So whilst I will sort of show things from the allotment, I'm going to try and film as much from home as I can. It's just me, just my personal, and I don't, you know me, I don't hold anything against anyone, each to their own, but I'm trying to do as sort of, I know some of you have seen, try and do more from home. But the allotment is equally as active. I think I put in about 100 potatoes. There is always next year for peanuts, it's just getting some. I've just sorted out the listing actually, Aaron. It was Facebook Marketplace hates me. So on my Conversation Shed account, it tells me I need to verify the mobile number. So I put the number in that it needs to text me on, and the text message never comes through. So the marketplace thing actually never went live, not properly. So I've just redone it on my personal account, and within 5 minutes of listing it on my personal account, I've had one person message me telling me they're coming in morning for 7 plants, and somebody else has messaged me saying, can I check, see how many ahi, hot lemon and how many sugar rush peach I've got, because I don't know off the top of my head how many I've got, but they seem to be going quite well. So I was a little bit gutted because I sowed plenty chilies with the intention of taking them to the car boot sales, but obviously with what's happened now, there are no car boot sales. It's struggling to keep a good connection today, so apologies if it starts jumping around, but I think that's a... but it seems to be a YouTube thing, doesn't it? It seems to be on a bit of a go slow. Right, anyway, I don't want to be here all night, like normal. Yeah, tomato plants, yeah, they do the same up here rates. Why I don't bother selling tomato plants. The problem with a lot of the ones that they sell up here, they sell themselves last year, and the moneymaker obviously at the moment is still an F1 variety. So you're not guaranteed to get the same, you're not guaranteed as, Aaron and I have been telling a lot of people in Facebook groups about, there's a lot of people asking about what hybrids are, what F1s are, and what it means, and it's people selling these plants, and you're not guaranteed to be getting moneymaker. You could get something from the mother's side or the father's side, I believe it can swing either way, which may be completely inedible, or worse yet, could be closer to the original of the origin of the tomato, which of course is nightshade. And the last thing you want to be doing is selling something. Is selling something that's selling nightshade to somebody and telling them it's a tomato, especially at the moment when you've got a lot of people sort of getting into the hobby, as it were, and you'd be surprised how many people don't know what a tomato is. I'm just going to put some gloves on. I've had a shower and I don't want to get filthy. Sorry about the noise. Oh, I bet that sounds awful, especially if you've got my headphones on. Yeah, it does sound awful. It's just come through in the living room speakers. So yeah, I have when it comes to tomato plants and stuff like that. Unless I bought a big bag of, you know, moneymaker seeds or something like that from a reputable source, I would definitely have an issue selling a hybrid. If I had an heirloom, which I don't think, am I growing any heirlooms this year? I think my Roma's a hybrid, Sweet Million is a hybrid, Moneymaker's a hybrid, Sun Gold is a hybrid. I don't think actually this year, oh no, apparently Roma isn't a hybrid. Oh, that's good to know. Unless, is VF a later generation of hybrid? Okay. Is it more likely to be is it more likely to reproduce the same plant from the seed, do you know? I need to scrap some seeds, Becky. I've got some that are 4 or 5 years old, and me cabbages and things like that I'm getting really pants germination on. So I need to stop sowing the old varieties. Problem is, the seeds that I first bought years back from Real Seed, the produce is amazing. It really is, and you can't get them seeds elsewhere. It's actually, I think it's largely my fault for not keeping the seeds properly. Going from hot to cold, sort of been keeping them in a greenhouse and things like that. In an ideal world, of course, we'd all keep the seeds in a fridge, but we don't live in an ideal world, do we? Right, today's going to be a hodgepodge. Ooh, while I've got you guys, these seeds feel like they're all. Has anybody ever grown them? This one, this particular variety. Hopefully it'll focus. I know it says mustard spinach. Is it not spicy, but I don't, you know what I mean? Does it have a burn to it? Because I really want to sow some, but I know like the kids won't eat it obviously if it's got a hot mustard. Let's call it hot mustard flavour. That's this variety, if anybody knows it, if anybody's grown it before. Because I would like to sow some. We do all like spinach in this house, and of course you need a lot of spinach. Hiya Scott, mate, you alright? I've got loads of seeds in here that I don't actually mean to sow today. I just went and grabbed a load. See, it's like these, the greyhounds from Real Seed. I've had these for 3 years, and I'm getting really bad germination rates on them now, which is a real shame because it's a really good variety. You grew giant mustard. I might give it a go then. Hi Dudley, you alright mate? Good to see you. Good to see you. Did we establish? No, I'm sure we did establish that you're not local to me at all. I'm sure we did. So I'm going to sow some of them. Grow a seed. They're going in tonight. Can't decide whether to sow some of them. I'm going to do some more turnips, but I'm doing a different variety, some fresh seed. So I'm going to put some of them in. In fact, I'm going to do them now. Let me just close this door so you can't hear Charlotte play Minecraft with her friends. Problem is I've shut dog in there now, so she's going to start complaining probably. Oh. So So yeah, I'm gonna put some more turnips in. And we're talking, what's the turnaround on turnips? 8 to 10 weeks. Cool. It's quite quick, that, isn't it? Yeah, I thought you were, Dudley. I was going to say, I know you're a chilli guy, so I was going to say, do you want some chilli plants? But yeah, I can't exactly deliver them, can I? And postage is just crazy, and everything in the post is being held up at the moment, so sending live plants via Royal Mail is not advisable. Oh, open that package, dead cat. What are these guys like? Turnip seeds are surprisingly large. Have you ever noticed that? Say how big a turnip is. And I'm talking turnips, not Swedes, because a Swede is a Swede and a turnip is a turnip. Southerners. In fact, let's pull these out. Oh, I keep moving tables. Sorry, guys. I'm not with it tonight. Do people what is it? Cluster? It's not cluster sow, is it? What's the term when you put more than one seed in a cell? Not broadcast sowing. So my brain's really not firing on all cylinders tonight. Not a word, Tony, before you get involved, before you say anything. Oh, yeah, but I don't know what your experience is with Hermes, Becky, but up here, sort of, my experience of Hermes in the north, sort of Manchester and upwards, is not great. The only company worse than Hermes up here is Yodel. And I have ended up having to not use companies because they use Yodel. Yeah, like Buggy, you weren't going to say anything. I forgot my vermiculite as well. Oh, I need my pen. Have I got one in here? Yay! Good old Sharpie. What have I just sown? Turnips, sweet bell. Yeah, Yodel are horrendous. I had a massive, when I was ordering my 30 litre pots last year, I had a massive problem with Yodel. To the extent where I've ended up with 20 pots, even though I think I ordered 5. But the company I ordered them from just kept sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, have some more. You know, we'll send you some. Say, okay, stop. They started to show up now. Do you want me to send you some back? And they all turned around turned around and said no. Well, what's a man to do, eh? We have one. Is it Hermes, Tony? We have one Hermes delivery driver that is really, really good. But if you don't get him, you've got no chance. I'm sure if that's Hermes, it is Hermes. I've seen him today. And I think in delivery drivers' defence, we do live in one hell of a rabbit run here. But when they don't even make an attempt, and I'm talking about yodel here, when they don't even make an attempt, but tick it as, you know, attempt made, nobody home, that's where I draw the line. You know, that's out of order. I've set all this up and I haven't thought about where I'm going to put my completed trays. Tell you, not with it at all. Not with it at all tonight, guys. I wonder if we're going to get any surprise visits later on. I don't know. So, you don't, I mean, you guys don't need me to show you how to sow seeds, do you? We're just here for a chat, aren't we, really? Oh, I'm going to have to keep toing and froing with these seeds.
Yes. You're gonna have to follow me. Just tell me where you want to build it.
Oh. So what do we all think of the weather then? Do we think it's because nobody's allowed out and there's no planes in the sky to see clouds? Are we all putting as tinfoil hats on? Let's not talk about the elephant in the room. Has anybody else noticed as well? Because the fields aren't getting mowed and the playgrounds and the what's the word I'm looking for? Parks aren't getting mowed, and the daffodils, and not the daffodils. Oh, do you know tonight's going to be one of them nights? Not the daffodils. Yellow flowers, usually we always class them as a weed. You can eat 100% of them.
I haven't named it yet.
What's the flower I'm thinking of? Yeah, with yodel they tend to put my parcels in the bin, not my bin. Yeah. Evidence, please. Cheers, Deadly. Oh, what's the word? What's the plant I'm looking for? Dandelion.
Don't squeeze me too hard.
You know, you've got dandelions and clover and daisies everywhere, which is, I must admit, when I'm out walking the dog, it's great to see. But the bees have been out in force today, haven't they?
I still got that allotment from that.
Yeah, you're right there, Becky. It's the traffic noise and it not being there. The birds are almost deafening, aren't they? Especially first thing on the morning. It's amazing the things that we get used to hearing.
I'll play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And the things that we sort of stop hearing. I'm not doing any carrots today. I'm not doing any more kohlrabi. I know one thing I do need to plant more of. Some nasturtiums, because the frost got mine. Can someone tell me, because I think this is wrong. I think Aaron can probably tell me. Nasturtium, how do you spell it? Daisy smells of It may do. But it's good for the bees. Not doing any carrots today. Not doing any more sunflowers. I've still got my sun. That's something I am doing today. Definitely doing that today. What do you reckon, guys? Time to get the corn in. I don't have access. Well, I don't have access to a canal. I can walk up to. Oh God, what's the river next to Scunthorpe? Is it Trent? Not Trent. Is it Trent? What's the river? Anyway, I can walk up to a river. And big one. You've lost me there, Deadly, mate. I'm assuming you're talking about. Hi, Sue. I'm assuming you're talking about daisies.
Okay.
Oh, it is the Trent. Has anyone given me the correct spelling for nasturtiums yet? I tell you, it's going to be it's going to be hard work tonight, guys. I certainly ain't going to be on here till 11 o'clock like you've had me do before. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Aha! Nobody say anything. That's Cheers, Becky. In fact, I actually need quite a lot of nasturtiums. I think I'm going to have to do 2 trays if I've got enough seeds. Charlotte's got a little 3-tier sort of stand thing, and she wants flowers in it. So I said we'll do nasturtiums, cornflowers, and marigolds because it's all I've got. It's quite large. In fact, no, actually 1 tray should be enough. The germination was actually, once they started, the germination was very good. So I only have them for caper berries. Aaron, you're a bit late to the party on that one, mate. The government are putting batteries in the birds and green paint in the trees. Do you know? But yeah, in this weather, it's amazing though, isn't it, the weather? And do we think, what do you guys think? Is it something to do with the lack of, I mean, I was watching, because Scunthorpe's part of this Clean Air Directive thing. Has that already come all the way to the surface? That's the stuff. They've got all sorts of emission monitoring stations everywhere. So they notice changes daily, hourly, maybe even. I don't know. It's largely because of the steelworks. But I was reading about a week ago. We were into the a week into the lockdown, and the emissions, the air quality increased by 30% in a matter of a few days, which is astonishing, really. Well, it shouldn't be astonishing, should it? It should make perfect sense. But it's you know, and to have weather like this in April, at the start of April. I mean, we've had no real rain to speak of for nearly 3 weeks now. I'm having to water my plants in April, and my water butts are empty. I'm not happy about that. I'm having to pay to water my plants instead of harvesting rainwater. But it does mean we're getting a good start to the growing season. I just hope that they don't announce stricter lockdown measures on Monday because of all the people that have ignored it. We can only wait and see, can't we? Deadly, he's not clever and handsome and funny. He just likes to think he's clever and handsome and funny. No, he knows his stuff when it comes to gardening, does Aaron? But certainly not handsome. Not as handsome as me, anyway. He's incredibly humble. Yeah, Scott, that's exactly what I think. And I mean, I've believed in cloud seeding by planes for many a year. I don't think I'm not putting my tin hat on to say that I think it's been done for any. I don't even think it's intentional. It's just a byproduct of planes in the sky. The physics certainly makes sense. Water molecules attract water, and you know, plane exhausts are partial water, the hydrocarbons and water, not hydrocarbons. No, it is hydrocarbons and water. That was the word I was looking for. I think it's always going to be the case when you've got planes in the sky. You're going to have them making clouds, intentionally or otherwise. But it's just as soon as the air traffic died down, it was almost sort of the next day, wasn't it? I don't hide in bushes anymore. Oh, I need to do another song. Oh yeah. It'll be interesting to see if these guys germinate. I don't know where this packet of seeds actually came from. Went out of date 2 years ago. But it's cabbage seeds. They're pretty much bulletproof, right? But I don't know. I just think I think it's just interesting, sort of the day after the planes go, or 99% of the planes go, the clouds clear up, and we've got clear skies and sunshine. Becky, it was lovely to see you. I hope you join us again later on, or I hope you can join us again later on. These are a little bit worse for wear. Stay safe. If I don't see you again, I shall chat to you, Facebook or something like that. Not so any more of them, because it's just a bit of fun. What is, this is old gardeners and new, before this is all over. What? I'm missing something here. Scott. This lockdown is going to be going on for a long time, or this is not going to pass that quick. I think you're right, Scott. I don't know about if it's going to last until Christmas. It's not the lockdown. But I think it's definitely going to go on. It's definitely going to go on for longer than we want. The problem, the only concern is how stricter measures are going to come in. Because of smack rats and wasters ignoring it. Hi, Mick. Ruby ball. Just actually, while I've got Mick here, Mick's probably going to curse me if everybody starts saying, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a bit of fun." Is anybody interested if I start a second channel? Why do I wear gloves? I'll tell you in a minute. Is anybody interested? if I do a second conversation shed channel, I don't really want to mix the indoor and outdoor activities too much, not for myself anyway. If we start doing the live streaming Farm Simulator, it might go that far, Tony, I don't know. To answer your question, Aaron, the reason I wear gloves, it's quite expensive gloves, but I don't have any of the cheaper alternatives here at the moment. But the reason I wear gloves 90% of the time is because I'm in a rush. Generally, I'm going to the allotment, I'm doing something on the allotment, and generally I have to go then from the allotment straight on the school run. And whilst I don't mind so much my clothes being a little dirty, I don't like going with dirty hands and face, so I wear gloves. The other reason is last year, and it's already happened this year, is somebody died from Legionnaire's disease caught from compost. It's more so the cheaper brands that use council green waste to make their compost from, but better safe than sorry, Legionnaire's is nasty business. That's the other reason why I wear gloves. But truth be told, is it's force of habit, and generally I'm not going somewhere where I can have a wash in between having to do something where I might want to have clean hands. Because last thing I want to do is if I put my hand out to shake somebody's hand or talk to the teacher, or obviously this is before all what's going on at the moment, but last thing I want is to put my hand out and my hands be filthy. But yes, it's a habit thing more than anything else. I wear them for work, I wear them for to keep my hands clean, I wear them, it's generally something we always have around. I wear them because I go to the butcher's and I bulk buy my meat. So I wear them quite a lot. And any time where I want to keep my hands clean, I can just pop these off, do something else if I need to do it. Especially with having the kids about. I don't want compost covered hands or manure covered hands or something like that. And then the kids go, can we have a drink or something like that? And we have to sort of stop, make them a drink, and I bet you, yeah, Aaron, that don't surprise me. But anything, but bear in mind things like anthrax, if you disturb it in the soil, it goes airborne. But yeah, there was a couple of cases of it last year, one fatality, and there has already been a fatality this year from Legionnaire's disease, and they've traced it back to the compost. Obviously, at no point have they ever said a brand, but no, Aaron, he won't build a model of you before you even type that. See, Rachel, are they doing that because they know that it's impossible to police? But ultimately, they're back in Commons on Monday to discuss whether the current lockdown rules are working. I think if they're reopening parks, I think it's because they can't police it. I think it's an admission that they can't police it. I don't think it's anything else, personally. I knew where you were going, Aaron, didn't I? I stopped you mid-flow, didn't I? Has everybody pressed that thumbs up button? I can't tell. You better have done. Otherwise, I have a particular set of skills. What do you mean they spit the dummy out, Deadly? They couldn't, they were actually having to do too much work? No, that's wrong. The police do work hard. Just not in the areas that make enough of a difference. I've got mates of mine who are bobbies, and the amount of times they tell me that they're having to do something they don't want to do and they'd rather be out. It's important that they must get off the street. Done any of these songs? Oh, let's get these in. Oh, I have. Thought I had. Let's get these in. The imminent release of Top Gun 2, I think Mali should make an F-14 Tomcat. I think that's on the cards. Airfix released a load of Top Gun themed number of seeds. One of the cells is getting 2 seeds in it then. I hate it when you get an odd number of seeds. Have you heard of... I'm assuming you mean Amnesty International, not Amnesty International. Do you reckon? Am I too late doing my second sowing of tomatoes? I'm hoping to get an extended season using the polytunnel.
Yeah, but these are special cinema chairs. I made my homemade cinema.
This is, I mean, like I said, this is my second sowing.
I can't pronounce it properly. I got frozen too much.
And some more. Back. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I have got about 40 plants in the grow. Also in the Lake District. Anywhere really that's a bit touristy. And obviously coming through Scunthorpe, you get a lot of people who try to duck through Scunthorpe to get to Whitby. There's a lot of these Roma seeds for the money. But I got to say, I won't be using these guys ever again. Not if I can help it. Their customer service over the last, and I'm talking pre-lockdown, pre-COVID-19, their customer service for the last, I mean, if you guys saw the cauliflowers, the absolute, I mean, not only did the second pack of cauliflowers they sent me to fix the problem with the first pack of them all being shredded to pieces, you know, not only did that pack turn up ruined, and then the asparagus crowns that I've ordered, they've been delayed by a month, even though everybody else has managed to send theirs delayed by a month. And the emails I'm getting back from them are horrendously snotty. It's Marshall's, Headley. I'll name and shame. They've been absolutely shocking the last sort of 6-7 months. So as I go. You got what from Morris's? What, some compost? Did you not get some? Did you not bother? Did you not get some? Have to get some more compost in a minute. We found some from a local supplier that has been allowed to stay open. It's not a garden centre, it's a sort of one of those shops that sells a bit of everything, but he does a lot of food. So he's got through the loophole and stayed open, and he was selling Jack's Magic. Or at least he was until I pointed out it was dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. He was selling Jack's Magic at £3 a bag. He let you down? Why didn't you let me know? What happened? I'm going to use Fothergill's a lot next year. I was going to use Fothergill's and DT Brown because of can't remember his name. Muddy Boots. Can't remember his real name. He uses DT Brown, and their seeds always seem to be fine. They turn up when. He has been absolutely ram deadly, but you should have let me know. I'd have winged him a message. But he's been absolutely swamped. Nigel, that's it. Cheers, Rachel. Yeah, I'm going to try DT Brown. Is it DT Brown? It is DT Browns he uses. I'm going to try them next year because I'm going to replace a lot of seeds. Although I think I'm doing a partnership again with Grow Seed. We've got some stuff coming up through winter, and I think we've got some stuff coming up next year. Let me just go shut this front window. Oh. He's got some nice ideas, to be honest. He's doing some nice little kits, and it yeah, I need to do a second sowing of this. But yeah, no, he's I think I'm going to do some more with Grow Seed. I know he's interested in doing a bit more, and I'm really interested in working with them. I think they're a great company. The only thing that lets them, it's sort of a good thing and a bad thing all in the same breath, is their ethic of only selling seeds they grow, which limits them a little bit on their catalogue. Not by much, but a little bit. And it does mean that there are some things that I will have to go elsewhere for, but the quality of their seed so far has been amazing. And you know, I mean, I love the guys there. I think Jerry over at Grow Seed, he's a great guy. But I did tell him when we first started working together that I would be honest with what I say about his product. And if his product was no good, I would say I didn't think it was any good. But I've got to say, everything thus far has had good germination rates. It turned up in well packaged, in good condition. Because I mean, obviously people know that I know them, and people have contacted me to contact them. And honestly, I've seen some of the stuff behind the scenes, and some of the emails has been getting over one packet of seeds has been absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Blush. But in the same breath, I have had to put himself may not be as big as Amazon, which is what people have been saying to him. Well, Amazon can do this and Amazon can do that. But at the end of the day, when you're a faceless internet company, everybody gets tarred with the same brush. I mean, I was an IT guy for God knows how long. I've set up small businesses, I've worked in big businesses, and everybody tars every internet company with the same brush, be it positive or negative or whatever, and that everybody should be able to do the same things. They don't realise that, you know, the size of the company can matter, and that a website can be owned by a one-man band in a shed. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be a massive company, but a lot of people don't realise that, and especially those that haven't been using online companies but now are being forced to use online companies. I think there's a lot of misconceptions there. So. Right, I just need to get some more compost. Take a drink. I haven't got a drink. I was hoping Tony was still awake and she could be convinced to come make a cuppa. The rum. The rum's gone. Why is the rum gone? The rum's gone. What do you mean don't give me rum? Nothing bad's ever happened when I've been on rum. Yeah, my cherries are covered in blossom as well. Nothing bad's ever happened with me on rum, I think. It's not usually me that keeps us here all night. Normally someone like Mary, bless her, or who else? Well, the Americans start piling in later on, and we end up sitting here till like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I mean, don't let me keep you, Mally, you know. You're not duty bound to be here. Every time we say shed, every time I say shed, we should take a drink. Wouldn't be a very good drinking game. I don't say it that often, do I? Do I?
Yeah, but I've got a PC that has Minecraft, so
And let's face it, Mally, you'd be arseholed in 20 minutes.
when she's on Jackie's PC, so I don't know if Jackie has got.
I'm not sowing any more broccoli today. Not sowing any more kohlrabi. Not sowing any more cauliflower. Not sowing any more sunflowers. And I just filled this tray up for no reason. Sunflowers, marigolds, spinach, cucumbers. Don't want any more cucumber. How many seeds we got in here? Britain's Got Talent is on, is it? Don't want some more cucumbers. Got one cucumber plant. Yeah, I'll do some cucumbers, and I'm going to do some more. Where are they? Did I not get something out over here that I said I wanted to sow? Nasturtiums I've done. I thought I brought a lettuce back. I meant to pick up a lettuce, and I haven't. Ho hum. Which reminds me, I need to get some more little gem seeds. I saw some more Romanesco. How about no. I'm just going to do these cucumbers, and then I'm going to move on to the sweet corns. Shoop shoo, shoo doo doo.
Oh, you shouldn't really send it back.
My apple's already blown, Rachel.
Don't. No.
My apple's blown, my pear's blown, the plum has blown. What else has gone? What else has opened? No, I think that's about it. Oh bugger, let's put some more kohlrabi in at the side of this. Yeah, I've kicked most of my chilies out this afternoon, Rachel. They've all gone into an unheated greenhouse. And I'm going to kick out tomatoes tomorrow. They're going to go. They're going to go down to the allotment tomorrow and just go into the polytunnel. Still in pots. They're not getting planted out yet. They're not big enough to be planted out. Yeah, they're going out tomorrow. They're getting evicted from their tents. Hopefully, I'll get the upgrades to the old greenhouse sorted tomorrow. And I'll be able to evict the majority of the chili plants next week, hopefully, and get my windowsills back again. Need more solar panels so I can have heating down on the allotment through winter. What? How many what? I will need the shed department as soon as I want to grow some veg in the garden. What?
Do not go.
Should I say? What? How many what, Deadly? Sorry. How many what? What have I said and missed? Yeah, B&M's open, Deadly.
You broke the redstone stone, that's why. That's why you broke the redstone stone.
How many chilies? How many chilies am I keeping? About 12 KN, because they're the ones I want for my sauce. And one of each of the super hots. So one Dorset Naga, one Carolina Reaper, and one Maruga Scorpion. I've got 4 pepperoncinis or cinis. I've got 1 jalapeno, 1 ahi lemon, and 1 there's another variety in there somewhere. Brain's gone completely. That's going to annoy me now. Marley, you need to go back over the last few weeks' videos, mate. I've done all sorts in at-home planters. Oh, right, time to fill this mama jammer up. These things take a lot of compost. These root trainers, but they're worth it. They are really good, but they also need some more compost. Filled to a good level of corn. Has anybody ever soaked their sweet corn before they've sown it? I know I was talking to Kelly. I'm having to shout over you. Where are we? We're not in fishing. Privet. What? What? What have I missed? Hey, Ray. To be honest, Rachel, I've done exactly the same, and I've got to say, there's been a few times, and I think we all go through this. There's been a few times in the last couple of weeks where I've been down on the allotment, and I've just gone, you know what? It's been great to come to the allotment, not set up cameras, not have to fanny about with batteries and camera angles and all the bells and whistles, and just go and garden. Sweet corn is going in now first. But yeah, there's been a fair few times over the last couple of weeks where I've been this close to saying, you know what, I'm going to stop YouTube. As much as I enjoy the community, and I'm not stopping YouTube, but I've been close. I have been close. Where I've, like I said, where I've gone down the plot and gone down and cracked on and got done what I intended to do, and didn't run out of time and things like that because I wasn't too busy setting up things like cameras and all that. Now I'm hoping I don't get cross-pollination issues here because I'm sowing two varieties. 4, 8, 16. 50 seeds. Right. Sunflowers, they're not showing up, mate. The video was made and edited the same day, so they've only been in a few days. They've been in since Wednesday, so now there's nothing doing yet, but they're in. Nick threw a bit of a curveball in with the old giant ones have to be in pots, didn't he? Eh? But sweet corn is one of my I have to sow it every year. It's once you've grown your own sweet corn, it's never the same, is it? I know I'm late with the sweet corn, but I was waiting for the live stream. It'll catch up, and I don't think sweet corn is one of them that really suffers from being late. Just suffers from, in my soil, from not getting enough friggin' nitrogen, and especially as I had hoped, obviously, to do it all with alpaca manure, but now I can't go get any alpaca manure because the ladies are in isolation. So, fun and games. So go. What would you do with your sweet corn seeds now, guys? Would you put them in the greenhouse or would you put them on your windowsill? To be fair, I think the greenhouse is probably warmer than my windowsill because I'm a tight Yorkshireman. Sorry guys, I've been not paying much attention. Mali, yeah, just quickly. I agree with Aaron. It was Aaron is Privet. Aaron is Privet for those that don't know. It was Aaron that put me onto seaweed last year, and it was one of the best changes I've ever made in gardening. Was scrapping things like tomerite and things like that, and seaweed. It's one of them, especially for the chilies. You seem to water them with seaweed the night before, and you go and you check on them the following morning, because you know, like we do, we're all sad like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do windowsill, Rachel. And you tend to find that in the morning when you go back to your seedlings, they've, or your plants for that matter, they look completely different. They've grown, they've changed in colour, obviously not from green to purple, but you know what I mean. You know, flowers may well have appeared. It seems to be a form of food that is so readily available to the plant that it's like the difference is a night and day, and they can be as quick as within a night you can see a difference. It's really weird. Right. And I'm just going to call. Remind me, guys, or let me know tell me what you guys think. But last year, I read that you shouldn't mix sweet corn varieties. And I think it was more. You shouldn't mix mini pop and full size. But is it true of all varieties? Because I'm just sowing honeydew, and then I've got this bag of F1 double standard. Are they okay being planted in blocks together, or should I separate them? Don't mix. That's what I thought. Bugger bum. Right, I don't. What have we got? If I do these and then two, yeah, that's all right. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the Marshall's ones in the root trainer. And then I'm going to do two of the normal cell trays of these 20 Suttons, and then I'll plant them on the other plot. 6, 12, so yeah, if I do two seed trays, two cell trays. Don't mix, I know that, yeah, don't mix field corn with sweet corn, but I'm on about mixing, these two standard sweet eating corn varieties. Different varieties, but will they be okay planted together? I know it seems to be something that divides people. And I will say last year, my mini pop and my full-size sweet corn did cross-pollinate, and it did ruin both crops. But these are both full-size corns. What do you reckon? And if I do sow both, and if I do plant both out, how far apart do they need to be? No, I won't be keeping seed, Rachel. sweet corn I grow is purely for eating. Nine times out of 10, it's one of those that doesn't make it home. But like I said, the whole mixing varieties thing seems to be very polarising across the community. But then I see people like Muddy Boots, some of the bigger allotmenters and the guys that have many more years experience than I do, and they mix and it doesn't seem to bother them. So I just don't know. It seems, you know, it's one of them. Same as some people like me, I always water with collected rainwater when I can. And then there's other people that say, don't use rainwater. Just seems to be one of them polarising things. Different varieties of sweet corn will mature at different times, so if you plan carefully. That's not a bad idea. That might be something I'm going to look at next year. The only reason I'm going to sow these is they came with that, you know, the seed tin that Sutton's did. But these are August, September harvest. I bet these are exactly the same. Grow on August, September, October. So in actual fact, I could have sown these and then sown those a month later. Or a few weeks later. I think I'm going to stick to my plan. I am going to sow the rest of them in a tray as well. But I'm going to sow these in trays, and then these will go on the other half plot, the one that I'm sort of looking after. I'm not really looking after it. I've not done anything on it really, apart from make a mess when I have my bonfire there. Hey ho. We'll put this corn in, and then I think I'm going to join you for a bit of a chat. Rachel, I did the same last year, pretty much exactly the same actually. I had patty pan plants a patty pan plant difference between the plants, and it ruined both crops. The mini pop pollinated the corn and vice versa, and I ended up with misfigured or disfigured corns, and there was a lot of inedible corn. The ones that did germinate and that did form alright were really nice, but there was a lot that was crap. I'm not a show grower though, Deadly. I'm a food grower. One of those seeds looked a bit mangled. Which one was it? I think it was that one. Or that one. But sweet corn is a must-sow crop for us. Same as tomatoes and cucumbers. A lot of them don't actually make it home; they just get eaten straight from the plant. But yeah, sweet corn is a must-sow. And I'm doubling down this year. I'm trying to get as much of it as I can. And I know it may look like I'm not giving these guys much water. I think I meant to mention this when I started. But actually what I've set up in the living room is all my growing trays, all my gravel trays. And they're all half filled with water, so every tray is going in a water bath. Just get some more of this. You've done You've done it for 8 years, no problem. See, my first year, and it ruined my crop. I was gutted. It's put me off growing mini pop again.
We've only got one because, yeah, I've only got one because one is connected to CP, one we are on How do you like your box? Is where you like design from dinosaurs? You like kind of like a yeah,
The other reason I prefer to use rainwater over tap water is the tap water here is really, really hard water. Really hard water. Like double hard headbutt. Tommy just bought a gun in case of the Germans. Hard. It really is. I have to descale the kettle fortnightly. It's crazy. But the pathogens get. Oh yeah, I get that. I get that. I do get that. But I tend to find the tap water here actually damages the plants. That don't like it. It's got that much fluoride and lime in it, lime scale in it, which is probably actually why. Probably a lot to do with why the soil on my allotment site is so alkaline, because it's been watered with a hose pipe for, not by me, but been watered with a hose pipe for years by previous tenants. What sweet corn was this? Double standard. Yeah. It's kind of ironic. Yeah, there's and there's a lot of chlorine, chlorine in the water here as well. In summer you can smell it. I think Aaron, she's on about what I've just said really. She's the chlorine in the water here. I have seen a definite difference in seedlings watered with tap water versus seedlings watered with rainwater. The seedlings watered with tap water are slower, are smaller, and not as green. It depends on where you are and what your water source is like. I mean, back home in West Yorkshire, the water's soft and lovely, and I wouldn't have any issue using that to water my plants with. But here, I definitely have an issue. What I said, Aaron, about chlorine and fluoride and all that kind of stuff. Come on, keep up. You got to bed right till 8 to go to bed.
Never mind. It's about 9:30 right now. Yeah.
Right, I've got space for 2 more trays. But I don't really want to sow anything. Is it worth sowing something just to fill the gap? What do you think? What do you think? Is it worth sowing something just to fill the gap? Still 8 of you on. Wow, guys. I'm impressed, considering we never really have an agenda when I start these live streams. You know, a lot of people say, oh, we'll do a live stream and we'll talk about lettuce or no dig. And I just said, come on, let's just have a chat. I'm surprised there's the amount of you that stick around and listen to me waffle on. Mind you, in saying that, Mally and Mike have stuck around for 8 years and listened to me waffle on, so. So, you know. I think, but oh, you're painting, are you, Mally? What should I sow? I can sow 20. I can sow 6, 12, 24 more seeds. Or should I fill the gap with something else? How many seeds are left in this honeydew improved? Well, I was saying about Legionnaire's disease and compost then touching my face. How many of these are left? Nah, not worth sowing a tray. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the rest are bits. So they're going. That's all rubbish. Shall I do another celery and another Roma? No. Maybe. Or shall I do some broccoli? What have I got? I've got some Romanesco collies. I've got green and purple broccoli. I've got more sunflowers. I've got some I've got some dwarf beans. I think where I could fit these in. They could grow on from my broad beans when my broad beans come out. When will broad beans come out? When do they come out of the ground? I've never grown them before. This is my first year. They seem to be taking forever to grow. Like I said, yeah, I've got some cabbage. I've got green and purple broccoli. I've got sunflowers. I've got carrots. Obviously, I'm not going to sow carrots in cells. And I've got some celery, some more Roma tomatoes, and some oak leaf lettuce, which I believe is a cut and come again. Yeah, loose leaf. Nah, I've got some of that sown already. Kale. I've not brought the kale seeds home. I'm going to do them as microgreens through winter, right? I am tempted to sow some of the beans. But I just don't know where I'm going to fit them in down on the allotment. Because if you sow them out in the open, they tend to get destroyed, don't they, by insects. Or if you plant them out in the open, they tend to get destroyed by insects. I wonder if I can follow on my peas. What? No. I'm not going to sow any more seeds. I'm not going to sow any more seeds. Am I? No, I am. I'm going to put some more celery in. I'm going to put a lot more celery in. No, I'm not. I'm going to do one celery, and another Roma. Another Roma tomato. I want the Romas. I want lots of the Romas to make sauces. Make a lot of tomato sauces. And I'm hoping that with the chilies and the elephant garlic will be, and the basil that hopefully is going to survive this year. Mike's very good at cleaning his. Oh, you mean fishing rod? Right, yeah, more celery. Determined to get celery right. This is a self-blanching one for those that that are wondering. I wouldn't even attempt. I don't have the equipment. I wouldn't even attempt a non-self-blanching. Might as well finish this packet off. There's not that many seeds in it. Scott, how's your tubs getting on? Deadly says. Says something when your kids are playing Minecraft and you can hear them say, I'm just going to wash my hands because of coronavirus. And she's talking about in the game. That's how much of an impact it's having on people's lives. You got rhubarb in a container, Scott? I've not seen that. I've seen a couple of people mention about growing rhubarb in pots. And everybody just seems to jump on the bandwagon of rhubarb needs a lot of, needs to be able to go quite deep. So I'll be interested to see how that goes, Scott. There's a fella on my plot that did it as cut and come again last year. But he said that the second growth, he said was, I don't know whether he left it a bit long, which would stand to reason, but he said that the second growth was a bit woody, so it wasn't as pleasant as the first growth. But for me, it'd work because I actually cook with a lot of celery. So I use it as, obviously it's a mirepoix. It's one of the base vegetables of most sauces, apart from Cajun sauces, and they use the Holy Trinity, not a mirepoix. Chard is something that I'm growing this year. That's actually in the home allotment. I got a rare variety from Real Seed a couple of years ago, and it is day glow pink, and I mean it is vibrant. yeah, it looks like it's highlighter pink. It looks like it should be radioactive. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. I'll sow some more Roma. How long's it been in the pot for, Scott? Yeah, Rachel, it looked great. I said it may well have been him. He's whilst he is a very good gardener, his time is limited, and like a lot of people, he doesn't always get to grow what he doesn't always get to eat what he grows when he should. So it's very possible that it was past its best. Very possible it went woody. But it's something I'll try. I'm going to leave because I'm putting it in the polytunnel. I'm going to put some in the polytunnel, hopefully, and some in the some outside, and we'll see. We'll see. The ones in the polytunnel I'll probably leave. I'll probably treat as a cut and come again. Or that was actually my intention, to treat it as a cut and come again. You got it in 15s. How long's it been in there? A year? I mean, even for potatoes, I use 30s. Or is it still just this year's growth? Is it from seed, or? So I know Matt grew his from seed, and he kept his in pots for a year, and then it went out this year. And there we go, that is my windowsill full again. How long has it been in, Ray? I was. It depends on the variety, but I was told, rightly or wrongly, that after about 8 years, it wants digging up, and apparently you can revive it by splitting the crown. But it wants to be done after 8 years, and ideally it wants to be replaced. I'm trying to encourage. I've got one crown. I'm trying to encourage it to go to seed this year. I'm going to harvest the seeds from it and see what happens. See what happens when I plant them. It sounds silly saying that out loud, but you're not guaranteed to get what you want, are you? It could be quite old then, couldn't it, right? It might be worth digging it up and replacing it, or digging it up and splitting it and see if that revives it. Make it work. Leave it for when you split it. You're supposed to leave. You don't. You can take 25% the following year if you need it, but it is advisable to leave it. I think that's right. Which is the same with asparagus. Ah, well, give the space for something else then, right? You'll be happy. Lots of celery sown, more kohlrabi sown. You're not listening anyway. If you're not listening, this is your sash. Oh, right. That is my seed sowing done, guys. It's been fun, as always. I'm just going to shift some stuff out. I'll come back and we'll have a chat before I toddle off to bed. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Deadly. If you don't like the rhubarb, Ray, take it out. I think you're right. I think you're right. Take it out and give the space to something you're going to eat. Well, essentially, Aaron, that's what you're doing when you're dividing the crown, isn't it? You're doing root cuttings, which is the most popular way of dividing rhubarb, or getting rhubarb, is to split a crown. Especially in allotments, you tend to find that people are very willing to give you a rhubarb crown because they've got loads. At least that's my experience of it anyway.
You can only eat the forest fruit itself. No. Is it genetics? Is that why I have one? It's fine. My head's stuck. I can't move at all. I literally can't. Sorry, I needed to. I'm sorry if I disturbed one of your animals by accident. That's fine.
That's what we're all up to. Oh, I said I was going to throw them seeds away and I put them back in my seed tin. What's my notification from YouTube? How's everybody? I know Ray's done one, I've done one. I actually need to post an update on it. How's everybody's single seed challenge doing? Mine's alright, my single beef tomato. Because